welcome to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I am Mark Hoffmeyer, and joining me is a man that is about to spend a year of his life on a desert island. It's Nick Rehak.
Hey.
How are you getting there?
You know, I was wondering that myself.
They haven't told you?
No, no one told me. I don't know if it's one of those like, hey, we're going on a trip, and then we're not getting to the destination because all of a sudden I just wake up in a raft. And there's an island, and I either float to it or paddle over to it, and so it begins.
Now, you've joined us on our jet ski action scene draft. Mm-hmm. You've joined me on a bathroom fight draft. And now we are doing a discussion about which 5 soundtracks would we take with us to score. It has to be at least 2 score soundtracks, entirely score soundtracks, to a desert island where we are going to live for a year. Not like we're each separate islands. Maybe I could wave at you with like a palm frond, but different island. Somehow you and I are going to have, I'm thinking this, think about this, vinyl, like record players, solar powered.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Like that.
Somehow you have Bluetooth and you just have a banging speaker system. That's also solar powered. So you go to an island. They fully expect you to live this year. Like, you're not going to the Deep Rising Island where a creature is going to eat you suddenly. Like, this isn't Skull Island. But it's not Pleasure Island. It's more like Gilligan's Island. But you're by yourself. Great. Does that mean, like, you could make a bamboo bicycle, like in Gilligan's Island, on this island where you're going. So it's like, you will be comfortable. And when you are rescued a year later, people are going to look through all of your stuff, and your apartment's going to be pretty sweet.
It would have to be.
Like, people are like, this is bigger than my apartment in L.A. Like, that's what someone's gonna say, just real angrily.
Well, the whole thing is the apartment, really. This is one big studio apartment.
Jeez, that was 8 miles long.
Like, look at that view.
I saw. Is that volcano dormant? Dormant?
Man, the resale value is going to be high, huh?
Is that salmon in this lagoon? How did that happen?
Lagoon.
Yeah, you have a lagoon. Oh. You have a freshwater lagoon fueled by ice glaciers under the island. Don't ask me how.
Ooh, okay. I won't.
You have a geothermal area, too, so you can just soak in a geothermal spring. And then you also have saltwater, like, lagoon. So I'm
not against any of that.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you're still going to have to like spear your fish. You're still going to have to start fires. But I'm telling you, your bamboo pad is going to be sweet.
You know, it's funny. My roommates in college, we spent our first year in the dorm. Second year, moved out off campus, and the floors were repurposed bamboo floors.
Wow.
So it's like it's coming full circle.
Full circle. And you know what's crazy? In Castaway, when he's on this island, when they don't find him later, he escapes the island. But he's wildly skinny, ripped in shape, just bearded. When you get picked up a year later, you're going to look the exact same.
Yeah, and you know what? That kind of bums me out a little bit. I'm not going to lie. I would like to have slimmed down a little bit, have a crazy beard, a weathered face, but a determined weathered face.
We just found Nick Rehak after a year on an island, and you're just wearing a Nirvana shirt and cargo shorts.
Hey guys, what's
you want some tea? I made some coconut refreshers for everybody. And
don't get too close to the parrot; he'll bite. You have a parrot?
What? What? Oh man! And then gosh, I love this idea. This makes me very and also, one last thing. Somehow you realize that on this island was kind of repurposed from a bunch of pirates that were modern day pirates that were living there. And while you're there, you found a massive bunker of like whatever booze and drinks you like. So you can have LaCroix, I don't care what it is, bottles of whiskey. So you're stocked, right? And you have fresh water supply, but it's just you. No TV. None of that. Unless, like, the beautiful sights are TV, basically. And you try to, like, put a box and look through it. That's how, like, conditioned you are. You actually make a little bamboo thing that's the size of a cell phone. You just stare through it.
Man, this ad is taking forever. I just want this app to load.
Okay, so now that
you're like, oh, good, it's my sleep aid.
Oh, man. You're just talking on it when they find you and there's nothing there.
Hey, Mr. Oh, no. Guys, approach him very slowly.
I just love the idea of all these like paramedics coming to the island and they barge into your door and you're just kind of hanging out doing calisthenics. Like everything's perfect.
What's going on, fellas? I got some fresh coconut water. I just cracked it this morning.
Whiskey?
There's Coke Zeros in the back.
You've like somehow there's malt and barley on your island and you've just made beer.
Mm.
I mean, you don't want to leave, basically. But so what we're doing is, this is a wild topic because if you think about how niche our ideas were for jet ski action scenes and bathroom fights, we're taking only 5 soundtracks. So I just want to let everyone know listening that we're basically taking only 10 soundtracks. And there are thousands and thousands and thousands of soundtracks. So we can't take them all with us. So some soundtracks that you love won't be taken. And this isn't a best soundtrack episode. It's just which 5 would keep us going by ourselves on this island.
Mm-hmm.
Don't scream that something has been left out, because we have to leave a lot out. Actually, be happy that we picked one you might take, because that's statistically... I'm telling people what to do. My apologies. Right now, I would have turned it off and been like, don't tell me what to do. Throwing my bamboo phone out the window.
Hand cranking the podcast machine.
But the reason I wanted to do this is because of your new podcast, or your I guess podcast, yeah, Rehak Radio, and like that's what we call it, right? Podcast.
I think so. Yeah, it's got to be like a hybrid podcast radio show. Yeah.
So I mean, it's beautiful. Everyone should listen to it. You know your music, and you and I have been in a couple bands together, Gary and the Rancors.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I mean, I figured let's bring Nick on and let's talk music, because I've made you talk jet ski action scenes, which is my forte. So I wanted to have you come on and talk about your forte, which is music.
Let's do it.
So
let's do it.
I'm gonna let you take. What's your first soundtrack? What was your number 1 pick?
My number 1. So we're going 1 to 5.
Yeah, well, like you do 1, I do 1, or I have no order, but I'm just gonna mix it up. But yeah, okay. I pick 5, you pick 5. But did you have one that came to you first that you automatically knew?
The one I automatically knew was the soundtrack to Fantasia.
Whoa.
Yeah. That old chestnut from 1940. It's my favorite animated film ever. And I think at this stage of my life, if it's not in the top 5, it's definitely in the top 3 favorite films ever for me. It's nice to just have music. Like just legitimate music. There's no vocals. There's no nothing. It's just music that can incite emotion, music that you can just relax to. And there's a lot of different pieces and types of styles of pieces in here, which is nice. I mean, yeah, you have the Sorcerer's Apprentice. That's cool. You have Toccata and Fugue. I get it. Night on Bald Mountain into Ave Maria. That's fine. But I mean, you got Rite of Spring on there. That's one of the most incredible pieces ever written. And the energy you could have from that while you're chopping down a palm tree, or you're reeling in that fish that you've been trying to catch, or crafting a spear and running through the assumed jungles of the island looking for birds or small animals with which to cook. Like, there's just so much. And then there's celebratory music. You have the Pastoral Symphony. Like, all these different feelings and emotions you can have, they can be amplified by the music of Fantasia. It's the Philadelphia Orchestra, one of the best out there. Stokowski conducted them for this. And fun fact, after that, Eugene Ormandy took over as conductor. And I'm actually working on collecting all of the vinyl releases of his recordings. And I'll say this, he's got a lot of them.
Well, you know, I have bananas. I have bananas in St. Pete. So next time I'm down there, when I travel back down to Florida, they say it's the world's largest record store. I can check it out, man. See if there's anything you don't have.
That would be fantastic, because right now I got about 20 of them, and I have like another 100 to go. He did a lot. He did not sleep on that job. He definitely kept it going. But the important thing is, it's just nice to have a wide variety of scores and emotions that it evokes. Because sometimes when you have a score, it can be very one note, which is purposeful, and that's fine. I'm not knocking it, but it has that just one type of energy that it's trying to give and put out. But this one, I feel like it really does a good job of mixing it up and giving you different vibes and different feels.
Oh, that'd be, because I love that. It's just sort of life affirming. It's get you out of bed in the morning. Mm-hmm. It's work music that you could work to. You could exercise to it. You could train the local parrots to clean stuff while listening to it. Like you could do a woodwind choir with them.
Absolutely. All the trees, you just cut them down. You can cut them to size. You know what I mean? Some parrots might have shorter wings than others. Some might have bigger beaks.
Wow.
You can adapt and adjust to that. We could have piccolos. We could have whatever smaller than a piccolo. We could have flutes. We could have all kind of woodwinds. A clarinet, maybe.
Yeah, you could do it.
Why not?
And just teach
anything is possible.
The birds how to play. When the rescue crew shows up, and you're like, guys, watch this. Like, and the bird
and a 1 and a 2. Break it though when the saints go marching in. Man, that sounds really good. I know.
And you have bamboo poles just cleaning everything, and people just run away like witchcraft. You're carrying a spear, and you have a hat. You don't want to leave. Like you have to. We successfully rescued Nick Rehak from the island, and it's 8 people wrestling you.
Yeah. I don't want to go. No, you need to come back to civilization. No, I don't.
Oh man. Well, I love that pick.
It taught me to teach him the tenor saxophone. He was an alto, and I brought him to a tenor.
He's gone crazy. We need to give him water. And you're like, I'm already hydrated.
Look at all these empty coconuts.
Put an IV in him. Why? I'll meet you there. I got my boat.
We need more Coke Zero.
I love this island you're on. In my head, it's like 50 feet off the shore, but I don't like that. Like it's Okay. All right. So okay, let's establish something real quick so to give our listeners a visual. How big is the island? You get to pick.
You know what? I like that you throw out an 8 Mile Island. I think it's your traditional oval shaped.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe in the southern part you have a crescent piece cut out of it for the lagoon, right, for the water to come in. I think the northern side, a little mountainous. You might have to do a little bit of climbing to get to the top. So I'm thinking maybe in the north you have like a tree house, and in the south along the lagoon you have a cabana, maybe split time between the two.
Like a winter and summer home.
There, exactly.
Or your weekend getaway.
Yes. Oh man. I'd love just a weekend getaway, hanging out in the mountains. Then you come back to the lagoon. How ideal is that?
Just refreshed.
Like
you take
it'd be a nice walk.
You take a week on the West Coast, and when you get back, you're like, I need a vacation for my vacation.
Oh man, these coconuts are not going to pick themselves, huh? But yeah, I think just a traditional setup like that is what's in my mind. And then as far as, animals and creatures, you have some birds coming by and you kind of wonder where they're coming from because you don't really have civilization or life anywhere else. Fish galore.
A lot of gulls.
Yeah, just almost too many.
Yeah.
Almost too many. And sometimes you got to shush them a little bit or go inside and close your palm blinds and close your bamboo windows just so you can hear the music over the sounds of the gulls.
I love it. Yeah, that's your one. Like, what was the worst part about your island? Was it the poisonous snakes, the malaria? Man, those gulls made a lot of noise.
You ever try to sleep at night or just watch a sunset in peace?
Like, I don't see poisonous snakes on this island.
I don't either, because where would they come from? That's my biggest thing about this island is just where. Like, I couldn't imagine anything outside of fish. I mean, they have bugs of varying degrees and sizes and things, but I couldn't imagine like squirrels or rabbits or anything like that. Well, maybe because, rabbits and squirrels tend to be herbivores, but it just comes to that idea of like, how did they get there? But then again, how did we get there? So
we're asking deep questions.
It's almost too deep, some might say. two gulls too deep.
2 gulls too furious. I love this island. I see it all right now. Brisk morning jog. The sand's not too squishy, so when you run, it's not like your feet are sinking into the sand.
Exactly.
Like the tides. One day a plane crashes and a bunch of sweet stuff rolls the shore.
Ooh, I like that. But the pilots, no, it was unmanned, so nobody's hurt.
Yeah, the pilots. Okay, here's what happened. One pilot got a text message that something happened, so he bailed out. And just let the plane fly, and then it crashed, and then you get a bunch of cool stuff.
Absolutely.